This is my favorite place. I know I say that a lot, but like of all my favorite places, this is my favorite place. I love the garden, but I can't always be in it. And so I guess this is my favorite place in my house, right here at the piano, at this window overlooking the garden. My chickens used to be down there. Where the garden is now, I used to have a coop right in the middle of it, and that's where our chickens were. And I used to sit here and watch my chickens. They were my first dream before the dream garden. And then we moved the chickens over and put the garden there. So I'm actually headed out of town today. I'm gonna leave you guys with Sweet Maya, and he's gonna do some vlogging while I'm gone. My aunt passed away, which is very sad, and one of those things that I have my own loss in that. But my cousin Amy is my very best friend in the whole world, and we've been besties since quite literally like we were born. She's 3 years older than me, and was there at the hospital when I was born. So so we've done our whole life together. You guys have met her on the vlog, and if you've come to like our shindig and stuff like that, like cousin Amy is always at those things, and this is her mom. So obviously my main role right now is being there for her. So I'm getting ready to go, and I wanted to kind of just share a little bit of the morning with you guys, because I feel like, you know, we share a lot of the gardening and the farming. And let me make sure the kid that just came in here wasn't naked. Okay, I have to watch it filming in my house early in the morning, because 5 boys, somebody will run through in their drawers, and I'm not doing those kind of videos. But, you know, normally I share the farm and the planting and the being outside, and actually I usually shoot videos like in the evening, and that's why we just kind of walk around and take a look at everything, and then occasionally we'll share like a project. But I get a lot of questions like how do you do what you do? Like, what's your routine? What's your regular? And what you guys don't normally see is like the morning inside the house time. Because usually we're getting stuff done, not making videos. And actually, most mornings I get up at about 5:30, and I usually make coffee, which I have here. And I usually take my sons, my older 2 sons that are in school, not at home, school. I take them to school. My oldest son plays football, so he has to be there really early. And that is my normal routine. And then I'm usually getting back home around 8 or so, and that's when I go into like my normal in the house routine. However, this morning Sweet Maya took the boys to school so he could run to the store before I go out of town, so it's a little different than normal, but I'm still kind of picking up where I would be if I were bringing the boys home. And the next thing that I do pretty consistently every single day is to sit down at this piano, and this is where I do where I worship and have just kind of devotion and quiet time, which is hugely important for me, for my own just mental well-being. This is something that I prioritize. We talk a lot in our, I think, generation, and today there's a lot of awareness as far as self-care goes, and for me, taking this time is definitely self-care for me. My entire day can be changed by about 15 or 20 minutes prioritizing sitting down and doing this. And actually today I already have. This is also one of those things that it's kind of well, am I really sitting down, and is this really self-care if I make a video of it? So I already had some time with the camera off, but I just wanted to share a little bit with you guys so you can kind of have an idea of what this looks like for me every morning. So coffee, piano, view of the beautiful garden. I guess I can show you that. The chickens aren't out yet, as you can see. I need to clean this window. been writing that song. Tobias was sitting down here and smiling at me, but I think he's running back in now. This is one of my favorite things when I'm sitting here worshiping and my kids are playing out there. What, baby?
Do you know those leftist movies?
Yeah.
Can we have one of those?
Yep. So, kind of the next thing, and this isn't always the same. Really, are you seeing a pattern here that nothing's ever always the same? We get a lot of mail, which is just, it's really fun. It's a really cool thing about having a YouTube channel. And I realized that we've had a few like unboxings this week. We actually don't show a lot of the mail that we get just because, you know, we really wanted our content to be primarily our life and kind of what we're doing in that sense. But I do enjoy being able to honor people when they send us stuff. And this one, I wanted to show you guys because you ask me all the time about my mugs, which I'm always holding because I love coffee. And my friend Haley is a potter. And I always, you know, I comment and share back. And I've talked about it on my live, I think, many times. And she lives in California, and we met years ago on Instagram. I mean, it's been quite a few years now that I've known her and followed her work, and so I have quite a bit of a collection of her pottery. I love handmade pottery. It's just, I guess if I'd say I collect anything, it's seeds and handmade pottery and cookbooks probably. But she'll send me mugs sometimes, and some of my favorite ones are ones that she made specifically for me that have like I have one that looks like a tree that has mine and Jeremiah's initials carved into it, and I love that. But she's always coming up with really cool stuff, and a while ago I messaged her and said, hey, I'm always drinking out of your mugs on my YouTube channel, and my viewers are always asking about them. Would you like to give them like a coupon code or anything? And she said yes. So you can use, it's Roots in Refuge, and I'll put it down below so you don't have to remember that, and it's $10 off. And so that's pretty cool. Let's see what my new mug. Every mug Haley sends me is my new favorite. Check that out. That is so beautiful. Isn't that so cool? I love the color, that rusty red. Perfect for fall. I love how she gets like really creative with handles. You can kind of see this is kind of more like her signature one. This is also a mug from her. Jeremiah and I have matching ones. His is bigger than mine, but isn't that really pretty? All right, little quick trip outside because I need to go open the chicken coop. I was sitting at the window and noticed that it was still closed. Maya and I are like such creatures of habit that like normally he is here in the mornings when I'm taking the kids to school. So normally he opens the chicken coop while I'm gone, and when I get home after taking the boys, it's already open. But you switch up something and then stuff gets forgotten. Hey, get out, cool. Come on. Leave him alone. Leave him. Leave it. Good morning. Good morning. How are you, sweet girl? How do you do? Hey Gerard, what's up, boy? How you doing out there? How are you? You enjoying having all these woods? Maybe? Gerard is getting huge. Oh goodness, there we go. Yes, that's a spot, huh? Hey ladies, look at all these freeloaders. None of them are laying. We're actually about to dust them all for mites. We just get like a, I guess it's kind of like a diatomaceous earth type dust that we put all over them and the coop. And we're gonna just clean it out because I think they might have mites. At first I thought it was the heat, and then I thought maybe it was the molt. They're still not laying. So I think it's probably some other factor, and mites is usually the go-to. My chickens aren't laying. That's usually the thing that I check for. We were actually visiting some friends that had a handful of backyard, you know, chickens a week or so ago, and they were saying they weren't laying, and so I went out and started checking them for mites, and sure enough, they had them. That's a pretty typical thing if your chickens stop laying to look for is mites. Oh, look at these brave babies. Hey, Mama. Hey, sister. Oh, look at all those little dumplings. They're so cute. Now, Fanny's looking pretty good right here. Fanny's the one in the front, and she's the one who just had babies. And then Clementine back here, she's still pregnant, but we knew she wasn't quite as far along as Fanny because she started showing later, and she doesn't look super close right now. We put them in with Gerard at the same time, but you know, they had different cycles and stuff like that, and she might not have warmed up to him as quickly as Fanny did, so I don't know how long it's gonna be. I can't imagine that it'll be more than about another month or so before she has her babies. Hey, girly. No pets? No pets today? Okay. So the babies are kind of running off. I don't have anything for y'all. Didn't bring treats. Here the little guys are back here. Hey guys. They're starting to oink and grunt a little bit. It's kind of funny. I'm not messing with them. Now, it's a good thing that Clementine is not messing with Fanny's babies. However, I was told that whenever Clementine farrows, we're going to need to keep her and her baby separate, at least for the first little while, because the older piglets will steal the colostrum from off the other mom, so the little ones won't get their colostrum. So we obviously don't want that. So we're gonna keep an eye on Clem and make sure that she's isolated. Jeremiah, actually, the reason he had to go to the store this morning was to get some hog panels so we can make the little separate pens for them. Okay, piglet distraction. I actually really need to go back inside and make my juice. Oh, phooey. I left the chicken gate open. Well, that's not good. I'll go back up with some food. I gotta go make my juice. I was just trying to open the coop, got distracted by baby pigs, and then let all the chickens out into the yard. But what I really need to be doing right now is making my juice for the morning before I leave on this trip. Hey girls, good morning. Good morning, girlfriends. All right, back inside, and the next thing that I'm doing this morning and that I do every single morning is I make juice. Maya and I, we first learned about juicing, I don't know, like 7 years ago or something like that. There was a documentary called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead that we watched, and we bought a juicer then, a different one than this. We bought like a centrifugal juicer then. We've had it for years, we still have it and still use it some. We also more recently bought this cold press masticating juicer, and I'm actually taking this with me going out of town. We take this with us when we travel at this point, and like when we go to HOA, we're staying in an Airbnb so we can buy produce when we get there and take our juicer. This has been hugely important to us in our health. It's been worth the investment to us to make this happen, and honestly I would say, like, kicking the going out to eat habit and, you know, grabbing a coffee while you're out and about and all of that, so much of those cravings and those habits are fueled by not having proper nutrition. Essentially, you know, your body's like screaming, your sugar monster's screaming, and all of this stuff is going on because your body needs something it's not getting. Whenever you're having a lot of digestion issues, it's something that we've dealt with. A lot of times it's because your body's trying to extract nutrition that simply is not there out of our, you know, our American diet is really high in starches and carbs and a lot of sugars and just not nearly as much nutrition as what we need. And so juicing just makes sense to us. Being gardeners, there are times that we have tons of cucumbers and lots of carrots, and like I can grow tons and tons of kale. Most of the stuff that I have right now that I'm juicing, I bought at the store. I do try to buy organic whenever I can. I cannot always do that, but I'm always of the mindset that we do the best we can. And juicing with conventional stuff, while it might not be ideal, it's certainly better than eating unhealthy food and not juicing at all. So basically we do pretty much the same recipe over and over again, which is through the juicer we do a bunch of kale, a lemon, a few carrots, a few sticks of celery, one cucumber, which I've got it all cut up here, and a couple of apples. And like right now I've got Red Delicious apples because this is what was on the cheapest deal, and I just buy things as cheap as I can. Usually buying in bulk helps. Like a lot of times you can get at the minimum like 5-pound bags of carrots, but sometimes you can talk to produce managers and buy like 20-pound bags of carrots or 20-pound boxes and stuff like that. So, you know, basically trying to bring this into a place that it is as affordable as possible, but you know, we make this every morning and drink about 32 ounces of juice, and then sometimes we'll actually do that in the evening too, in lieu of eating a heavy dinner. We just won't eat a big dinner. And truly, like, our kids drink juice, I make it for them. And for us, this was one of the big steps for us into saying, okay, we're really going to get our diet under control. Jeremiah's lost a significantly larger amount of weight than I have, but I had less to lose. For me, I've probably lost about, I think, 10 or 12 pounds since we started doing this a few months ago. But the main thing is I feel really, really good. I'm not having crashes in the middle of the afternoon. And I still drink coffee every day, but not nearly as much as I used to. I really drink coffee now because I enjoy drinking coffee rather than that, like, I need this to feel alive and awake. It's not like that anymore. And when I don't drink juice, I really crave it. So that's what I'm doing. And this morning, I'm actually going to juice a few jars that I'm going to put in a cooler and take with me for the next couple of days. I'm going to take my juicer with me, but that way I don't know what I'm going to get into when I get to my family's house. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff that I might need to do rather than standing and running a juicer. So I'm just going to get all of that made, and I'm also going to make sweet mayas to leave it here for him. I'm also going to do like a more full comprehensive video kind of comparing the two types of juicers and really talking about this in depth. You guys have been asking a lot about it, and obviously my plans had to change this week, and so I'm just kind of showing you that I'm doing it, and I'll tell you more in depth about it maybe next week when I'm home and I have a little more time. And now most mornings at this point I sit down with my juice at the kitchen table and my laptop, and I work on YouTube. This is the part that you don't really see, but this is usually whenever I will sit down and edit or, you know, upload, put in information, respond to comments or emails. Basically all of the work that goes into the computer. I usually do pretty early in the morning here. Now the exception to this is this is kind of like the school year routine, and when I'm done with this, kind of through the late morning and through the middle of the day, that's time for like the kids, for homeschool, for cleaning, for cooking, kind of all of the household stuff that needs to happen. This is different in the spring and summer because we're working early in the mornings have to be outside, but then we're not running the kids to school, and kind of everything sort of shifts around depending on the season, and that's just the reality of doing any sort of like farm natured work is going to be different seasonally. But this is like right now, this is what it looks like, and then in the evenings is whenever we shoot videos. I hope to one day do kind of like an actual day in the life video where I can show you just clip by clip what a full day looks like, because there's so much that you guys don't see, just that's the normal routine, and I do like sharing little glimpses of that, because I think it gives you a better idea that it's not, you know, our life is not all just like petting the animals and hanging out in the garden, although you guys do get to see a lot of that. So anyway, I'm gonna actually edit this video so you guys have something to watch while I'm gone, and then go back and make about 7 more jars of this juice for the next few days. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. God bless you. Until next time.